Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me. And thank you very much, Pune Tech community and Binary Roads, for organizing and supporting this co-pilot day for all the community members. And you know that there are a couple of sessions already addressed by a few of the speakers regarding the co-piloting power pages. So I'm trying to keep something different from there, but I'll explore more part of how we can edit few things from the portal itself along with the Visual Studio Code. So before I jump into that, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Kirti Prajapati, and I'm an MVP MCT and working as independent modern workplace consultant. And along with this, I am very much involved in like sharing my knowledge and sharing my thoughts as a speaker or trainer with the person who are willing to know about what is happening in the Microsoft stack, and also an organizer of M365 Ahmedabad user group, under which we are organizing such events, workshops, conferences, and also like try to help some developer community to have more information on the newly released features or the features which are in preview. So we are just try to educate those with the developer community. And if you want to get in touch with me, then on the right hand side of the slide, you can see my social media handler. And I would be more than happy to connect with you on any of the platform and try to connect and build a good growing community over there. So this is all about myself. And now let me directly come to the point. So in the previous sessions, you know that there are different options to create the power pages and websites. So I'll start with the first one, the development or the environment from where you can just create those sites, right? So for example, here you can see I'm logged in one of the tenant. So I'll explain two different tenants. So this is the one SPUGA where I will explain actual demo and actual Copilot thing. And before that, I want to highlight few more things regarding the other tenant. So how you can create the Power Pages portal or the website, right? Assume that you don't have anything related to the Power Pages and Copilot will come later. So to create that, you need to go to that Power Platform Admin Center and select your specific environment. So for example, I'm just coming to this SPC Dev, and then from here, you can identify, okay, I want to create Power Pages or the website in this environment. Then you should log in into the specific environment, and then from there you can create it. But the main thing is, whatever the environment you are using for Power Pages, so just keep in mind that the environment URL, we will need this going forward. So that's why I'm just explaining this environment interface from where you can get this, right? So assume that you have created this portal in your environment, and let me go back and just open the Power Platform. Power Apps. From here, you go to the Power Apps and then select the environment, in which environment you are going to create that. So I have these three environments. So let's say I'm just selecting the UAT, and then from the apps, you can just go here and create the website. So from here, it will allow you to create the blank website. And once you are done with this, it will ask you a couple of things like the website name and the URL, and then it will take some time to provision it. So once it is provisioned, you will be able to see the site like this. Right? So this is the site in the preview mode, but this will be the interface for your site which has been created from this this environment. Now here you can see, if I am in edit mode, let me open that in edit mode again. SPC Dev back, and this is my site. SPC dev. So I'm just trying to open this in edit mode, and it will ask you like in which environment or which tool you are going to use. So let's go with the Power Pages, and this site will be open in edit mode. Now it is trying to uh, make the things ready for me. The main intents to this to open this tenant for this demo is I want to explain that in one of the tenant, I do not have that Copilot feature, and the other tenant, I do have that feature. So in this one, I do not have anything related to Copilot. Here you can see in the top bar, I do not see anything related to Copilot. So I can click on that, and the uh, the panel will be open for me to start something which can help me to create some base information for my website, right? So this one, and let me open another one which is already there. So this is the another environment, the tenant where I am connected with this environment. And here you can see in the edit mode, I have that option for Copilot, right? So along with Visual Studio Code, to use the Copilot, you have an option to do something from the browser itself, right? And once you click on this right side panel will be open for you. And from here, you can take an whatever the command you are going to use, it will prompt with the result, right? In the previous session, Bhargav was mentioning that same thing from the Visual Studio Code. So the same interface we have here in the browser, and it will do the same thing, right? So this is the one which is in my tenant, and that can be available from the browser itself when you are in edit mode of the website. Now here you can see I have created a couple of things like contact us form and then registration form. So this is the form which I have created using this Copilot. But as we know that this is the co-pilot, and it may possible that it will not come up with the 100% accuracy what we are looking out for. For example, if I'm just giving a command like please create a or uh, registration process. So this is my command. Now it will try to get all the necessary field which we may have for the registration process. So it is trying to creating a form. And right, so from here, I need to get that. Let's say, so here what happens like it will create a table or entity in the backend, but the name of the table will be different than what we are expecting. We should expect like, okay, I am trying to create the registration form, then the name of the form would be registration form. But if we look into the backend, the name of the form will be different. So this is the form it has generated with the default fields. Right. So these are the default field that Copilot can identify, okay, for registration form. These are the minimum fields we may require. But again, here it also provide that option, like if you want to remove some of the fields from this form, like remove the email field, or if you want to add some more field, like if I want to allow user to upload the image or upload their photo, then you can also add this add scan image field and language field, or you can just click on this refresh button and we may have the different set of fields available. Either from there you can add or remove, right? So these are the options available here. Now here as a co-pilot, let's say for example, I want to delete this interest field, this field, but I don't have any option here. So how I can delete this? So I can just give it a command like here, please remove interest field. So this field should remove from the form where I do not require this for this field anymore. So let's see and how it is updating this. So ideally what happens like when we are creating any entity or any adding any field, we do have our option to remove that field from there itself. See here the field is deleted immediately. And here you can see it also displays the history like whatever the command I have provided. First command was create a registration form. So it has created the form and then registration form has been updated by deleting this interest field. So in the form, now I do not see that form, right? So this is how we can, and here you can also see that there are number of options available with more commands or more fields that can be added. But if you feel that, okay, this is the form you are looking for, then you can just click on OK, and this will create a actual entity for you in the system. Now, as I was mentioning that the field name and the entity which we are creating using Copilot, it might have the different naming. It is not similar to registration form or my registration form like that form, yeah, the entity name, but it will add this Copilot thing before the whatever the form name we are expecting. So once it is created, let me open another instance. So I will be able to see that. So I'm just opening another instance and we'll see what is the uh, field name or the form name. Yeah, so it is created, right? So this is the form which we just created here. Now, if I go to the fields, then you will be able to see the all the field name, which may or may not as per our expectation. So you have an option to like edit those fields name from here. And you can see the name of the form is or entity is Copilot registration. So it is not as expected, like we are expecting the name of the entity would be registration or something like that, but it is adding this Copilot along with that. Now, if I click on name, then the field name will be like this. If I click on edit table column, then whatever the table it has created, it will display the same Dataverse interface, right? Now here you can see the name of this field will be like this. So ideally, we are not expecting this to be added like one CEA. We know that this prefix of this environment will be there, but the field name should be age, right? So here we need to check like what field name we are going to use. So if we use Copilot, then this is not in our hand to control the name of the field. Though you can change the display name from anything like age to like age criteria like that. So this is what we need to check or think about when we are trying to use this one. So that's it. I'm going to run the form again. And then here itself, this form will also ask you to update few things. Like for example, once the table is created, fields are set up, then the third step is to set up the permission. So whenever user is trying to access this portal, this website, this page, then how you are allowing those users to connect with this form. Either you want to allow them when they are logging into the system or allow them to access anonymously. So let's do that thing. So clicking on new permission, and by default it says create, but we do not have any role added as of now. So if I see that if I open this registration form, you know, preview this in a different tab, and I have not set up any permissions, so I might not be able to see that list or the form in the registration page, right? So I cannot see that because it says you do not have permission. So the form is still on the page, available on the page, but I do not have permission or I have not set up any role. So for this, you have to use this and you can set up the role, for example, anonymous user and administrator, and selecting save and saving this. And then I will be able to see that this form will be available for all the users who are not logged in into the system and they are trying to access as an anonymous user. So that's the first thing. And let's refresh this registration. Need to sync it. So let's sync this and then refresh. Yeah, see the page is available. So I need to hard refresh the page. So this is how the form will look like, right? Now let's assume that once you are done with this form design, right? Now you want to like allow user to access this form from the this URL, and that user may have some anonymous access on this. Now, when they are entering the data, you are trying to like do some kind of validations, like for example, in the name, you do not allow the special characters, right? So those kind of validations we can do from this one, either from web pages, you can open the page and update the code accordingly, or you have an option to use the Copilot here only, and then you can update the validation. Now, it is difficult from here to update this thing, but let's try in the design mode. Let's write something for this, not this form, for this form. I'm just trying to write something. Create a validation script for not allowing special character in name field. So it should come up with script which has some kind of regular expression for me, and it will allow me to like use that. But let's see how it is coming here. I'm trying first time from this interface. So if that doesn't work, then we'll go with the Visual Studio Code. So the same thing I will use in Visual Studio Code, the same line of this sentence. So what happens here, I'm not able to see that script part here because I'm not able to add that into the, this design interface. So what I have to do, I have to use this whole website in my Visual Studio Code, right? So for that, we do not have we do have the provision to edit the code from here itself, but I would like to introduce few of the commands, the PCS CLI commands, which every developer should know. By using that, you can identify that the site available in your environment and what is the ID of that site and how you can download it. And after download it, you can change the content and update few things like this JavaScript validations. And then again, by saving that, you can upload it, and then your end user will be able to see whatever the changes you have made, right? So let's open this whole URL, this website in my Visual Studio Code. So how we can do that? So first you have to open this Visual Windows PowerShell. It's already open. So my Windows PowerShell is already open here. Now, first, what you have to do, you have to connect with your environment. First thing, apart without connecting to your environment, you will not be able to see or connect with your environment. So for that, these are the commands. So I just open this URL, and if you want to have some kind of hands-on, then it will be very handy for you. So there are four commands available. First, you have to authenticate yourself, where you have to provide the Dataverse URL. Now, this Dataverse URL is, I was explaining in the beginning that from the environment, you have to keep this environment URL. So this is your Dataverse URL, and it will help you to connect with this environment using this Windows command, this CLI, the Power Platform CLI. So first we have to use this command, and it will ask you to enter your credentials. Like Dataverse URL is like this. Once you are authenticated, then you will be able to execute few more commands. So now after that, you want to see how many sites are available in this environment. So for that, you can use this PA portal list, and it will list down all the sites available under your environment. And the third command is you have to download a specific site on which you want to do some kind of content changes or validation changes, and then re-upload that site into your this environment. So for that, you have to keep the website ID handy, which is received from this command, this PA portal list. So that GUID or the site ID we are passing here like this, and it will allow you to download at the specific location. So this is the path where I want to download this site, right? And then after you can do some changes, then save it, and then you can upload this file again, the site again. So for that, we have to use this upload command. So this is the process of connecting to environment, then authenticate yourself, identify the sites available, and identify which one you want to go with, then update it, and then re-upload it. So these are the steps. So I'm not going to use all the steps because I have already made these changes. So for example, first one, I was connected with my tenant environment. Then I have just listed out which site I want to use. So for my tenant, for my environment, I have only one site. So this ID I will be using to download it. And this is my path. So this path, I can open that. So this is the path where I have downloaded this SPUGA dev. And after that, I can open that in my Visual Studio Code. So how you can open this, right? So first go to the file, open folder, and select whatever the folder path where you have downloaded it. Select this folder and click on select. So whenever you are selecting this, you can see in the bottom right corner, there are a couple of notifications coming in. So if you are doing this first time, then you might not connected with your Copilot with this environment. So what you have to do, you can just download this extension, this Power Platform tools, right? And once it is installed, it will be available in this left side navigation like this Power Platform, right? And here you have that option Copilot in Power Pages. Now, apart from these two, authentication, authorized profile, and then environment and solutions. So these are the default one where you need to find with which environment you are going to connect with. But we already connected with that PSC commands. So we are just focusing on this Copilot in Power Pages. So whenever we are doing this, let me see if I can scroll up. Yeah. So initially it will greet you with this, the default one, and it will also provide you some kind of hint that how would I write custom validations in table form, and if I want to create web API. So these are the default options coming with, which can help a developer how they can start with, right? So here what I want to do, I want to let's see. First, let me download this because I have made some changes. So I'm just using the same command and same folder, and I'm downloading this. So it will take some time to download because it will try to find okay, only one upload. Sorry, I have uploaded that. I need to download it. Yeah, for download, you might be facing some issues if you're downloading a number of times because the site is already there. So you have to use that dash O. So it will overwrite your existing site which has been downloaded earlier. And from there, you will be able to open this file, the site files, and do the changes as per your requirement. And then you can save it and then re-upload it. So it will try to download everything which is available in your portal along with all the tables and permissions, forms, advanced forms, web pages. So it may take some time, like couple of minutes. And once it is there in your local folder, here you can see it is 10, the folder one. Yeah, now it is updated. Here you can see the date stamp is changed to the current time, 1:57. Now let's open this in Visual Studio Code. So go to File, Open Folder, and select your folder. So we have downloaded here, selecting the folder. And if you click on this one, then you will be able to see all this, whatever the content or the pages you have, it will be reflected here. Right? So, for example, fresh. And then reopen it. So I'm just close to the code. Here it is also whenever you are opening this tool, it will ask with some notifications. So what I want to do here is I want to write some kind of scripting when something is happening in specific field, right? So let's do this. So I'm just clicking on this Copilot and first the field name. So I'm using the same registration form, which is top of this site. This one. This form, I'm going to use this form, the event name and like that. And I want to write something like if user is entering something here, let's say, for example, test. And when the focus is out of this text box, I want to set up an alert. So that kind of script I want to write using this Visual Studio Code. So what I'll do, I'll just select this page, JavaScript file, click on Copilot and write like this. A validation code. Okay. Then alert message. Then user enters test in name field. Right. So this is my text and it should come with the script or validation, which can be added into my page itself. See here. So it is coming like document.get element by ID and the field name. So here it also takes that name field. So I have used name as a field. So it is considering I have to use name as a field and dot add event listener. Input means text box and function. It says that if whatever the value, sorry, input type is having value test, then it should display this alert message. Now here you can see this code is adding as a add event listener, but we are looking out for a functionality when focus is out from the this control, right? So here it will only give an idea, like this will be the kind of script you can use, but as per our requirement, we have to modify it, right? So let's say, for example, I want to use this script And we have two options. Either you can copy it or just click on here and it will automatically add whatever the editor page editor code is open. So clicking on that, it will add like this. Now, if you see, if you inspect this, so it is saying infinite loop. Let me just. So I was saying that first we need to identify the correct page, the page name. Let me review it again. Yeah, okay. So first you have to inspect it and identify the actual name of the field. So sometimes what happens that the name which we are trying to use is not available as per our requirement when we are generating something from the Copilot. So I have selected that and found that my field name is like this, new underscore event name, then C832. And I want this to be executed when focus is out from this text box. So I want something to be alert like this. So I'm just removing these two and deleting this. Right? And just saving this file. So I'm done with my changes. Like I have just assumed that I have updated the script as per my requirement. And now I want to see, let me just check here. 1, 2, 3. And save this file. Now I'm done with these changes. So now it is time to upload this file. So I'm using this upload command and the reference will be the same folder and I'm uploading it. So here you see, it will also try to connect with this environment, then modified manifest file and only one web page. So it is saying that one web page has been updated. Now coming back to this one, then preview it. So basic idea is like we do have different options to use this Copilot. So this is just an example to go with some kind of validations, but I have some other URL open just to give a glimpse of what we can do. Yeah, over. Yeah, this one. So this is the URL which has been like available from 29th of August. So these are the capabilities we can do. Like if you want some kind of form and list customizations, then this is the kind of text command or sentence you can write for Copilot and it will do the job. So you can refer this URL for more detail, like how you can go with the web templates, Liquid, or if you want to fetch something as a XML, like a few more records, or if you want to generate an web API endpoint connection, then you can also use this. And if you want some kind of code snippet as you want to change something in the bottom of the page as a footer, then you can also use this. So by using these options, you will be able to see how this Copilot comes with different information which we are looking out for as a user. Okay. So, yeah, registration, and I want to see that, okay, I'm just typing test and coming out of this box. So alert in if condition. So let's see our code. So it says if this field name is having value test, then I want this alert. So alert in if, so this is the message we have in the alert. So it is coming as 1, 2, 3 and closing this. And now I'm just passing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and tab. So it is in the else part. So it automatically like getting that validations from there. So this is just an example of one validation, but it may happen that we would require some kind of regular expressions for email or for the phone number. So that can be done like this, but make sure that whatever the function it is provided by the co-pilot, it is not 100% as per our expectation, right? First field name, then this event. So event is, we have not mentioned that event here, but we could mention that event, okay, on sub on button click event or button on page load event, I want this. But make sure that you are trying to update this script as per your requirement. We cannot use as is, and that will help us to like minimize the time to write something from scratch. Yeah, but at least we have something which can be utilized as per our expectation. So this is the demo I supposed to explain like how we can use Visual Studio Code along with the UI interface from where you will be able to use this design studio, and from there you can also use the Copilot and create something, some form like this, and automatically added that page as a form, input form into specific page. And from here you can also set up like what are the fields you are looking for and what is the permission you are allowing to access from end users. Yeah, so this is what I planned for today's session. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for having me.